You're not only back, you're actually wearing an M&M shirt, Brendan, so thank you.
Oh,
We're back.
thanks, guys.
God,
Bloody
finally.
pleasure to be back.
It's just even the temperature in the room. I feel like when just three of us, it sort of upsets the balance
It's hot.
environmentally.
Yeah, the temperature, the tension, everything goes up.
Get Into Gate. This is episode 143. We are talking Stargate, SG-1. The full Get Into Gate team is here. My name's Mitch. Joining me, as always, we got Matty Gibson.
Yo.
Brendan Gibson.
Hello.
And Rhys.
G'day,
Gibson.
guys.
Rhys is our first time with the rest of us. We're long-term Stargate fans. Rhys is watching one episode per week for the very first time. We're in here to get a new view on it. The rest of us, a bit of a nostalgic look at the episode. And we are up to Season 7, Episode 10, Birthright, written by Mr. Christopher Judge. And we know that Rhys loves Teal'c. But not necessarily a fan of Christopher Judge written episodes, as he hinted the other week. So we're going to get into what Birthright is all about and then throw it over to Rhys and see what he thought. SG-1 encounters a race of women warriors whose survival depends on symbiotes harvested from Jaffa. Convinced the Tretonin is a safer alternative, Teal'c and SG-1 must convince the warrior's high priestess to put aside her feel of reliance on the drug before the ghoul track down the warriors and destroy them.
Oh, that's so sexist they bring it with their women. Why can't they just be warriors?
Why can't they just be warriors and very scantily cladly dressed and all that? God, you couldn't put any more clothes on a male Jafar.
Teal'c
Yeah.
wasn't very impressed that they were women, was he?
Well, I think the respect he gave her when they had that little fight. He's like, I'm just going to do it with one arm
One
on my
hand.
back, if that's okay.
He still beat,
stand on one foot.
still beat her, though, didn't he? I was like, this is Carter's knife fight 2.0.
Well, before we get into Emancipation 2.0 too much, Rhys, what did you think about Birthright?
Oh, look, prior to this, Chris Judge written episodes were 1 and 1. One good, one bad. Look, I got to chalk this up to a bad one for old CJ. Look,
CJ, I like that.
the start was cool, man. When those female warriors, or as Matty likes to call them, warriors, come out. I thought
I thought you were going to say, as Maddie likes to call them, bitches. He said that before the show. Just thought I'd bring that in.
Yeah, if we're not going to lie on the podcast, you know.
But yeah, when they come out, I thought I literally said, "Oh, that's fucking cool," because we've never seen female Jafar before. And then it went off to the storyline about, it's all the emotions, and do we take the Tretonin, do we not? And I would have loved to see, obviously more action. I'm an action man. Sort of, it lost me towards the end.
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of promise at the start, like when there was the regular fight happening between SG-1 and the Jafar, and a couple of blasts and bullets, and all of a sudden just like machine gun fire, staff blasts.
Yeah.
Like, that looked fucking cool. Like, I feel like we haven't seen it at that kind of rate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I, again, go into this pretty cold. This episode I haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, that had a lot of promise at the start. And you're right, then it was just a very quiet world building as far as the Jafar stuff goes.
I found a couple of their motivations really odd. Like, Marla, who was the Jaffa who died at the end, she went back to Earth to get the Tretonin treatment, and then she died because she refused to let them put the symbiote back in time. She was kind of like this weird, like, all or nothing. It's like, just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean you've got to die. It's like, you know, they say towards the end it's like an 80% success rate, or it's like, well, you can be the 20%. Like, if you only need 20% of the amount of symbiotes that you need now,
That's good.
that's fine. And it's like, if they can get Tretonin, and they said the kids, it's like the Tretonin will probably work on the kids because they've never had a symbiote before. So it's like, she could have just had her symbiote and kept kicking on.
For 100
years.
years.
Yeah, she would have been fine. So that I found really weird. And then Ishtar as well, her and Teal'c are walking along. He's trying to talk her into Tretonin. He's like, you know, you're not always going to win like the way you have. And she took that as offense and then had the fight with him, and then sensed that he didn't have a symbiote in him and that he's Tretonin, and then like shamed him for not admitting to her 10 minutes after meeting her that he was on Tretonin. And then
She was just upset that she lost.
Well, but then 2 seconds later, she literally, as that scene ends, the next scene is her standing up in front of people going, "We are going to take Tretonin because the mighty Teal'c takes Tretonin." And it's like 2 seconds ago, you were shaming him for it.
I felt like I missed something. I'm like,
her motivation seemed a bit up and down on that kind of thing.
Nah,
So that was the only thing that was
sign of
odd
a great
for me.
politician, mate.
But like when Teal'c beat her, she's like, "You have no symbiote inside you," and he's like, "Yeah, but my symbiote's inside you." So hot.
See? We haven't got this
Welcome
last
back,
story,
Brendan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there he is. Well, and he
And
was
then
even,
they really do bang in real life.
yeah,
It was hot.
and
Really?
then like,
That's his wife,
Is it?
no, it's not,
isn't it?
No,
Which one's his wife?
that was the nurse from Changeling.
But it was for that
I thought it was
one
the same
night.
chick.
No, Jolene Blaylock. No. Jolene Blaylock's the
My
Vulcan
bad.
from Enterprise.
You're making that last name
Oh,
up.
mate. So you just walked into that. You didn't have to say that. I don't feel like you had to say
They're
that.
not banging in real life.
I'm sure they
He
did,
did,
though.
I bet you they did, yeah.
He did write the show with her in mind. Like when he wrote the
Bet
character.
he did.
Yeah.
When he wrote the character.
Yeah,
I found
so much sexual tension all of a sudden.
Like right at the end where they had just like that monster kiss, which I love just as far as a Jafar thing. Like they're so proud and the way that they carry themselves in battle and all that. Like they wear their heart on the sleeve. So when he's gonna kiss someone, he's gonna really kiss them, and he's gonna do it for like 8 minutes, and he's gonna do it in front of everybody he knows.
Yeah.
And I love that. But as an outside point of view, and I'm like, well, that's why Christopher Judge wrote that. He's just like, I just want some
Yeah.
love scenes. Some
And then
boy.
in the tent, how he wrote that she had to convince him to kiss her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your wife's dead. Just kiss me. Oh, all right then. Here, come here.
Yeah.
It's been a year, bro. Yeah, all right.
All right then.
Apparently, when he wrote it, he had in mind either Jolene Blaylock or an actress called Victoria Pratt.
I'm guessing she was probably hot as well.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. The only thing that I
She was
could
fugly.
find on her IMDb
Tipped
is
it.
she was in a sci-fi show called Cleopatra 2525, which I'll read to you now the synopsis of this.
Oh,
of
sounds
the other
great
actress.
already just with
You're
the
gonna-
title. I
you're
can't
like-
wait to hear it.
The title's good enough.
Fish what? Fish what?
No, you're gonna love it. The plot summary for Cleopatra 2525 is an exotic dancer. See, you're all hooked now.
Yeah, stop there. I'll watch it.
Cryogenically frozen in the year 2001, is accidentally thawed out in 2525
Accidentally.
by two female warriors.
When is
who-
she meant to be?
Yeah.
Like, how long? Do you like, no. We're really saving the sexiness.
You know what? We
Yeah.
should bring back exotic dancing right now.
Yeah.
Not just any
Oh,
exotic
not that
dance.
one. Not too late.
Oh, damn it.
Thawed out in 2525 by two female warriors who are fighting against evil,
Don't say female warriors, mate.
Yeah, they're
evil
just warriors,
robots
Matty.
which have taken over the world. The three join forces and try to escape the underground caverns to which humanity has been banished, meeting up with all sorts of strange creatures along the way.
If robots took over the world, wouldn't everyone be unfrozen to fight?
You
Not
think
accidentally.
so? Yeah.
Nah, you need reinforcements.
Yeah. that was it.
Frozen.
That was saving the
They'll
exotic.
thaw eventually.
They were saving the exotic dancers to repopulate the world once they defeated
Yeah.
the.
We need
the
a distraction.
robots.
What do we do? I'm Thor, the exotic dancers.
Hey, yo.
Maybe that was it. Maybe.
Wow, that is exotic.
Maybe the robots were like male fembots, right? So they're like,
Ooh. And they
kind
just
of like
seduce
where,
them.
Where the exotic dancer comes out and sexy dances in front of them, and they all explode.
Their heads explode
That's why
from
they
the
needed her,
sexiness.
her secret sexy dance powers.
See?
I love it. And
Say
she
no
was
more.
dancing to like Cisco and shit. So that's
Yeah.
they don't have that music in
Thong,
25.
thong, thong, thong.
They can't fabricate the real like feeling you got from listening to like some early 2000s Nelly and shit.
Like, turn this up. What is this? It's amazing.
I take you to the candy shop. I'll let you lick the lollipop.
It's got that grainy Spotify sound underneath it.
Nothing better. So yeah, Chris Judge read. I did notice that this was a Chris Judge episode because
He was in it.
He had lines.
He literally said, I've spoken the
Yeah.
most today than I have in the last 3 years.
we noticed.
Is that a stab at
We
like, the
noticed.
rest of the show?
Surely.
I'm talking about you, Cooper. Never give any
Cooper.
words.
But this, he's just overused Shalkek Nemron, I feel.
Shalkek Nemron.
I too will die free, brother. Shalkek Nemron! Shalkek Nemron!
Today, Junior.
He's just like, there's only one way to find out if they're friend or foe. Shalkek Nemron! That's not, you can just say, hey, you guys rebels? Or
Meanwhile,
like, it's not like a code. Like, all the guy will know what that means.
Yeah.
I die free.
yes, I thought I'm like they're not using another language. So meanwhile, the actual
That's
like
not what
evil
No, it
Ju-
doesn't.
Right?
He said, I will die. I too will die for you, brother.
I too will die free.
No.
Yeah.
No, even in the subtitles, I will die
The
for you.
subtitles are
Replay
wrong,
it.
mate.
Replay it and listen. He says, I too will die for you, brother. He says, for you, brother.
Shalkek Nemron.
I too will die free, brother.
Free.
Shalkek
I
Nemron!
disagree.
Well, mate,
says
Shalkek
in the
Nemron means
subtitles,
I will
mate.
die free.
It says in the subtitles.
Cooper wrote those.
Wait, is it the DVD subtitles or the
Yeah.
Stan
The
subtitles?
DVD subtitles.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Stan, I would understand.
Yeah.
I mean, great people, don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but
if they want to
like,
sponsor the show.
you know.
Maybe it was like Walter Harriman.
Yeah, could have been.
Don't blame Walter, mate. It's Cooper.
Walter Harriman. The people heard Harriman.
Yeah, when
Instead
Hammond,
of Eamon.
when Hammond said Eamon.
Eamon.
People heard I Die Free.
Ermine.
You're right, though. I thought,
Ermintrout.
what if it was like the evil Jafar, behind the trees? And he just, Shalkek Namron, Shalkek Namron. They're like, yeah, it's definitely the traitors over there. Fire again. So they're just giving themselves up.
That's the rebel code phrase. That must be them. Yeah.
We can get closer before we murder him
I'll
now.
die for you. What? That's kind of gay. But all right.
The guy that's dying says it. He's like, are you damn real right you will?
I kind of wished at the end, though, when Ishtar's friend Neith was like she'd been shot and she's ready and she's got the knife and she's going to go back into that guy's pouch. I kind of wish like that Jafar had been a Jafar on Tretonin. Like she'd gone in for the symbiote and then found out that he was one of the rebels anyway because like he didn't even have a symbiote. I thought that would have been a nice little continuation. It's almost like I kind of wish there'd been another like rebel episode before this one. So because at the moment we've only established that it's like Teal'c and Braytak are the only ones on Tretonin up until the start of this episode. So I kind of wish it had been set up that there were other Jafar out there as part of the rebellion that were on Tretonin, and then Ishtar ends up killing people who are part of the rebellion. Instead, in this way it's done, it's like she's killing people who could be part of the rebellion. So I was like, yeah, I kind of wish she'd like gone into his pouch and just found no symbiote and just. I wonder if that's where they store their Tretonin little thing. They like their little eyedropper.
Yeah, I think that's where Braytak had
just-
his, wasn't
yeah.
it, when they were captured in...
Well, where else is he going to stick it? Is he going to shelf it
Well,
or what? Like,
What I didn't get is why she desperately needed his symbiote. Like there was literally 50 other dead Jafar around. Why did they need that one?
Because it was in the middle.
The camera was pointed at him,
Yeah.
so they had to get that one.
Shout!
yeah.
He had a stutter, so they're like, yeah, we'll give him a
Yeah,
line.
he's-
She deliberately
Damaged goods.
pouch shot every other Jafar that's there. That was the only one who
Yeah.
wasn't shot in the pouch.
That's the reason they're there.
Yeah, yeah.
They could have like got 20 to save everybody.
Yeah.
Although they don't know how to store them like we do.
Yeah. And
You
then
need
they,
electricity.
and then they would have had no idea until they cut in that it's like, well, why did they need the knife anyway? Like you can just reach into the pouch. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know
made
why
no
she had the
sense.
knife.
Permanent wound, guys. It's
Yeah.
They've super glued it up for protection.
Yeah, but it's like she could have like, what if that Jafar was holding a symbiote that was like a couple of weeks away from maturity? It's like, well, that's not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
You need like a really young Primtar. So yeah, they didn't think it all through very well.
But wouldn't they would all wake back up, right? Their symbiote would heal them again if they didn't take the symbiote out.
Not if they're
Not if they're dead.
shot in the face.
How can you heal him if he's dead?
Yeah.
Sarcophagus.
You'd need a sarcophagus.
Yeah,
That's what you'd
there's no
need.
way Moloch's getting all those Jafar and giving them a turn in the sarcophagus.
No.
He's like,
sarcophagus party.
Chuck them all in at once. If you chucked them all in at once, they become conjoined?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a
it's
fly
like-
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day of the Tentacles, a
Yeah.
three-headed monster.
It's like when you put
Three-headed
like
Jafar.
when you-
Three symbiotes. Whoa.
you put a red sock in with all your whites. It's just they all just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all pink.
Ruined it.
Hey, so it's been a couple of seasons, but remember back in Need when I got access to that amazing bit of technology that could read Daniel Jackson's mind
Yes.
while that girl in the woods was getting a bit freaked. Well, look, I've been on the waiting list since then, and I finally got some time with it this week.
Nice.
So I was actually able to find out what Teal'c was thinking.
Oh, God. You made something, didn't you?
No, I didn't. This is legit.
I'll tell you what he's thinking. I want to take my clothes off.
Warriors of the Tari, we mean you no harm.
Well, hello. You are the most beautiful trio of gigantic ladies I've ever laid eyes on.
Please, come with us.
For many of the young, this is the first time they've seen men.
Men die out many years ago.
With all these women around, they were probably nagged to death. You with me, fellas?
Right, fellas?
Who knew? Who knew that's what Teal'c was thinking?
That was O'Neill at the end.
Yeah.
They're all nagged to death.
Who knew?
How funny was O'Neill in that when they did capture him, but he's like, are you saying they will want to meet with us?
Yeah.
They're more than willing to help everyone out.
Carter's like, oh,
I
God.
didn't even see Amanda tapping in that shot because she was sort of obstructed
Yeah.
by the person walking in front of her. And then I just heard this, like, the scoff. Oh, God. And I'm like, hang on, where is she?
Is that ad-libbed?
And I just rewind it again. And I swear her face didn't match that audio. So I don't know whether it was like it happened later in the shot or it was like an ADR situation, but like that was a cracker of a line. Like,
Oh, man.
it was more of a
You know
Richard
me.
Dean Anderson line than it was even a Jack O'Neill at his best line.
Yeah,
He's a
I think
crack
I
up
saw
in this.
it's either in the commentary or the like one of the special features, and yeah, that line was a Rick ad lib, and that was Amanda breaking character. Like that was her just being like, oh my
you
god,
can totally tell.
Yeah.
Wanting to help everyone out.
Like, just talk about the male-female thing. You know, we did jokingly liking it to Emancipation. We've all, even the other week with our mailbag question, saying that it was trying so hard to be this feminist episode that it kind of worked, the opposite point a little bit. Emancipation was more about trying to explain why Carter was going to be so good and why she was going to challenge, the SGC and then these other more primitive, and traditional tribes and people and things that they were going to encounter. Whereas this was like, well, you've had these women that have been oppressed or whatever, and then these horrible things have been happening, like with the children and women, baby girls getting killed off and stuff. So I kind of like,
hectic.
oh yeah, all of a sudden it
Burnt to
just takes
death
this
at birth.
and the mothers have got to go take them there and stuff. And then, like all these women are either people that have been saved or that have actually witnessed it and been part of it. So it's all full on. But then, yeah, I liked the way that this approached it far more than Emancipation, because it was about like this big collective group, and you watch them going, yeah, there's no reason that these guys should ever be, or girls should ever be, put down.
Yeah, well, and they had their own agency about it. They were like, we're not, like, if you go back to Emancipation, the women in that tribe were almost happy with their lot in life. They weren't seeking anything. It was Carter who kind of had to show them the way that it's like, you're women, you're not lesser than men. You can, whereas these women were just like, well, no, we're not going to take this crap. It was kind of, it was the Jaffa rebelling against the Goa'uld, but then there was just that whole sort of gender thing attached to it. But none of these women were like, they all had agency, and they were taking control of their lives and going, you know what, this guy's a piece of shit. We're going to, undermine him, and we're going to save all these people, and we're going to start our own society.
Yeah, they had more of a reason to rebel rather than just, okay, I don't want to follow a false god now.
Yeah.
Like, they were being treated like shit, so that was obviously one of the main reasons, and then... Yeah, obviously, we don't want to follow the Goa'uld.
And it was unlike Emancipation, which I hadn't thought about until now. The fact that really set the tone for the show, as much as we, at least the three of us, not Maddie, pay out that episode, it really set the tone for what SG-1 do in those... very throw it in it whenever you want in your rewatch episodes. They go to a place, they go, oh, that's not how you should live. This is how you should live. We're going to give you some America. Whereas here, the change had already been made. They were already doing their own thing with their own people and fighting their own fight before SG-1 came in. In saying that, I never thought I'd hear this particular word said in Stargate.
Because we have penises?
Like, I knew
was always hoping.
It was getting there. That entire scene, I'm like, we're going to get a dick reference in a second. But then it was coming, so to speak, no pun intended. And then he said penis. I'm like, ooh, all of a sudden, this is the show that someone has said the word, mainly because I just hate, I don't know if it's just, it could be a male thing, I don't know. I hate the word penis. It just sounds so, it's so like...
Yeah, scientific.
In a way, right? Like, my wife's a nurse, so like that's a thing. Like, we got sons, and that's the word that gets used. Like, Dad, say that. Don't say that word.
I don't think
Call his
I've
dick.
ever...
It's like he's
because
four.
we have
I'm
a
like,
little pee-pee. So
I don't think I've
that's what it
ever
should
heard
be.
someone say penis, like, unless it's a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't call it that. Just, I think in general,
Rhys.
Like a
anyone
prostitute.
out there-
Like the doctor said to me, Rhys, please take my penis out of your mouth.
My penis. Please, I don't want to touch that thing.
This is Rhys. This isn't how we take temperatures anymore. I'm sorry.
Did my tongue feel hot?
Stick my dick under your arm is how we do it.
Give you a Dutch rudder.
Meat thermometer in me.
Meat thermometer. Doctors and nurses. Fraser again with her unknown dosage with the Tretonin, giving it to the warrior. She's
I
like,
don't
how
get
much
it.
do we give her? I'm not sure, but
We don't
well,
even
I'll give
know.
her this much, and then I'll double it, and then I'll double it again.
Hey, it worked. It
We're
worked
giving
3
her-
out of 4 times.
We're giving her double what we gave the others. It's like, well, yeah, maybe like don't give it to her anymore.
Yeah.
Put the symbiote back in
Find
now.
out why she needs more before you give her even more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I've got a headache and I take a Panadol, the back of the instructions don't say, if you've still got a headache, double it the next
Yeah,
time.
totally.
Yeah, if you've got a hangover, take 4.
But instead of moving her to isolation, oh yeah, you're open to infection. It's like, no, just put the symbiote back in and try again later or do something.
But
or
she
figure it
said,
out.
please
Give
don't.
her a blood test.
Yeah, but that was Marla being like, no, don't put it in, don't put it in, don't put it in, and that was the weird thing to me. It was like Marla.
What's she going to do? She's just spent years saying, don't take it out.
Yeah.
The weird thing is Fraser's always like, no, it's my job to keep them alive, and then like, all right, last second.
She said she didn't want me to.
Yeah, such
yeah,
bullshit.
but Apophis, Tilt, get out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way, Tilt.
Yeah, but then at the last minute she decided, she's like, no, we're going to try and put it back in even without her consent, and then
Yeah, it's
it was
too late.
Too late anyway.
Yeah,
I knew that going in.
Yeah.
Isolate that. We're going to stick it back in without her consent.
I mean, that's what a symbiote is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jumps into you without consent.
Oh, I mean, Children of the Gods, that was straight up. It's set up that, the girl, well, don't take consent when they're sliding up Shara while she's naked. Hey, so there was some scenes deleted from this episode as the team is being taken to the village. They actually took them on a little tour before they got to meet Ishtar. So have a listen to this. This is quite interesting, actually.
Did you make something again?
Here's stadium, where our women basketball teams play.
We know can dunk, but good fundamentals.
That more fun to watch. This our comedy club. Humor here funny in different way.
It not reinforce stereotypes.
Comedy come from character, real situations, not abstract craziness.
Translation, boring. That's a good one. Ow!
Here live vengeful, all-knowing leader. She decide men's fates.
Is she hot?
That not important. She all-knowing.
In other words, no.
So, I mean, I can see why they cut it out.
Yeah, Chris Judge. He's a funny writer. Can write comedy. So Jomar Seku.
Jomo Seku.
Yeah, that makes a comeback.
Yeah.
Didn't eventually happen. Sorry, she can't fight you. She's too busy banging.
No, it happened.
No,
It just happened off
They
screen.
fought.
You just saw the end of it with Ishtar, like, knocking Nick to the ground.
That's right. Yeah,
and they're, like,
yeah.
holding up. Yeah, they were like, we're not going to film it. That's too expensive.
Don't kill her. Someone's just died.
And Tilk interrupts and goes, you don't have to do this. And she goes, you dare interrupt. It's like, in Warrior, you did the same thing, and O'Neill wanted to stop it. And you go, fuck off, O'Neill.
Yeah.
And then
make up your mind.
And then Daniel interrupts again. He's like, hey, sorry to interrupt. This is a bad time to do this. Like, he went total Mitch on it. He's like, look, I'm sorry to do this. It's never a good time to do it. And they're like, well.
Half Canadian.
Spit it out.
He's like, everybody's just like,
speak!
Yeah. I did find it weird how in this kind of, Chris Judd's kind of retconned it, because back in Families with Ryak, Tilk didn't want him to be implanted, but they say all of our children will die at puberty if they're not implanted. So basically, Tilk was running in Families to stop the implantation of Ryak because he wanted him to die?
Yeah, well, he could have saved us a lot of heartache.
I like
It
that.
doesn't make sense.
yeah, I never thought about that.
He's explained to
Did he
Ishtar-
learn in that episode, Bart? Didn't
Well,
his missus tell him in that episode? Well, if he doesn't get it, he's going to die.
Maybe.
That rings a bell. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure as hell.
And
I'll
I
go back to
usually
watch
skip
Family
it,
again.
So maybe, but so maybe he did want him to die, I guess. I don't want him to be enslaved by the ghoul, but he gonna die, bro. Nah, that'd be sweet.
Oh, we're all going to die one day. He's had a good run for a 6-year-old.
I'll be done with both of you if that happens.
I thought you were both already dead, so...
To me,
He seems to go.
I got to watch.
I've banged at least 2 women since I've left.
I feel like Tilk seems to go back and forward as well, because it's like this episode he's talking about Dreyarch. But then back in Changeling, there was no mention of Dreyarch, and Shinnok was the one in his dreams. So it's like, I feel like he's only ever seemed to allowed to mention one in an episode. He's never allowed to mention both Shinnok and Dreyarch. It's always one or the other.
And I didn't think he was really hung up on Dreyarch either, to be honest.
No, he said like, "Oh, she'll always have a place in my heart." Didn't have a place in her dream last season. Like,
But even that's a lot when he was breaking down his family to Ishtar and on the Ryak thing, and he's like, I have a son, and he has grown to be a great warrior. Like he's smiling his way through it, and they're like, "Oh, what of your wife?" And he's like, and he's still smiling. He goes, She's dead. And then she's like, "Oh,
She fell off a cliff and died on impact.
oh, you must." Yeah, then the thing. Oh, you must still love her. she'll always hold a place in my heart. It's
Yeah.
like, no. Like, she's like...
How do I
completely
say
disowned.
no but still get some tail from you?
And then later on, then she plays the pity card because she's like this strong warrior. She's a leader. You know, she's created a movement out of...
She's wearing a cape.
She's wearing a cape. Everyone else doesn't
say
get a
no more.
cape, right? And then she's in that room and she's putting the moves on. And he's like, I should probably take my leave. And she's like, you know what? She died a year ago. It's time for you to move on with, another lonely soul. And he's like, oh, God, okay.
All right, seeing as you're lonely.
Do you know what I would have loved if she's gone, look, you need to get over it. It's been at least 100 days.
I actually pictured, though, if we swapped that scene out and this was a Daniel episode and an alien woman even had enough time to tell Daniel, you know what? Your wife has passed. You should really want to move on. He's like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that's always pillow talk for Daniel. That's afterwards.
I've done that 7 times.
The minute she was kidnapped, I banged a cave woman.
Even cold in the ground.
Feel so free.
He was Will Ferrell at her funeral, just like hooking up with people. Oh my God!
These things are called trees. Yeah, you'll do.
You're dumb enough.
And she was standing over a cliff, that woman.
Let's go out and look at the trees again. God damn it. Oh, come back. She's dead.
My wife's dead, you know.
Died on impact.
What was that from?
Happy Gilmore. And my girlfriend's dead, you know. Yeah, she fell off a cliff and died on impact. That's so good.
So good.
Honestly, don't get this episode, really, because, well, we were talking about motivations before. I don't understand Daniel's motivation because he's basically, him and all of SG-1 are like pushing a drug on like vulnerable people. They want an alliance, and they're like, yeah, no worries, but you got to kind of test this drug that's untested. Like, you want to be part of this experiment. They were kind of more pushing drugs than trying to be
and for
an
no
ally.
great reason. Like, oh yeah, they're killing Jaffa that might be part of the rebellion.
Yeah.
But we need those Jaffa for the rebellion. But, I mean, that's not really their main aim.
Well,
Next minute, we're shooting 20 Jafar an episode.
I thought they brought it back with that line that Teal'c said to Ishtar about, we need to, stop our dependency on the Goa'uld.
But then they're dependent on us.
Well, and then they're dependent on Tretonin, which still comes from Goa'uld, unless the Toker have found
Didn't
a way
they synthesize it
to synthetically. Yeah,
I thought that's what
synthesize
it was now. I thought
is it?
I don't know. I assumed it was. That's what. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Toker devised a way to synthesize it, and that's why.
That's what I got, because I was wondering, I'm like...
Yeah, but synthesize it from what?
Tokerisms?
Yeah,
we don't know.
Does the host take a shit and they synthesize it from that? Because there's amino acids in the shit. That's the stuff they need. I don't know, but
How do they synthesize anything?
Yeah, synthesizer.
It would have been an interesting
3D printed.
whether it be in this episode or not, but like because they are such a proud people, the Jafar. Like they are so like we know we need these. We're against the Goa'uld, but we need the Goa'uld to that's their tradition. They're happy to use the Goa'uld if it means they get to live and kill the rest of them. But then I don't know. I'd like to see maybe like that whole like 80-20 thing you were talking about before. If they all get to Tretonin and they all can take Tretonin, but then you do have like a 20% fail rate, would those people be like some kind of outcast? It's like, oh, you're weak. You still rely on the Goa'uld to survive.
Sure.
Like,
that'd be interesting.
We
to
don't need
explore.
them. We're completely unreliant on them, and we're out there fighting them. You're fighting them, but you still need them to survive. I just think in that culture of Jafar, with all that history, I reckon that could create some kind of divide.
That'd be something cool to pick up if Stargate got rebooted, and started again now in 2019, 2020.
Two different classes of Jafar.
They put them in the ghetto.
In the years since SG-1 has ended, it's like, and that has been brewing over this time as Tretonin has kind of taken hold throughout, all the Jafar. It's like, is there a little, subset of people that can't take the Tretonin that would be like second-class citizens? That'd be really interesting.
Speaking of an SG-1 reboot, I was thinking who would they cast as the lead colonel? And going back to kind of the original SG-1, they had Richard Dean Anderson. He was already a huge TV star with MacGyver. I'm just thinking who else is pretty massive, and I was like, oh shit, I think the new colonel should be Jensen Ackles.
I was just about to say, I'm like, if you don't say it,
that
I
would be
will.
amazing.
Yeah, he's looking for some
How
work.
do we know him?
Oh,
Supernatural. He's Dean from Supernatural.
Right.
And he would be amazing.
I don't know if he needs the work though, Mitch. I mean, he
Well,
doesn't
no,
need
not
it.
need,
he was
but,
making
like,
$1 million an episode
But
for the last 5
if he
years.
co-produced it,
Was it that? Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like 15 years of just like the same work and just consistency, and then they made the call to stop it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like,
The
him and
actors did
Jared
their, like,
Padalecki,
I mean, they should have done it at, like, season 5, but like they
Well-
went for another 10, so okay. Fair enough.
It got better. It did get better after season 7. You got to push through those seasons.
Push through 7 seasons.
I tried. I took
No, the
your
first 5 seasons were awesome.
first 5 seasons are phenomenal, but that's where the original creator ended the show.
Yeah, Eric Kripke left.
Then he left, and they kept going. But yeah, no. Based on your recommendation a couple of years ago, I tried that, and I got through the shitty seasons of like 6, 7, and maybe halfway through 8, and then they took it off Netflix.
Yeah,
so I could, and then
they
I
did
was
that to
like,
me
so
too.
I got to watch
on
the
Stan
shit
then?
stuff and never got to get to the
Stan,
new one.
mate. Stan
So-
and Stargate both on.
Great people.
Yeah,
Stan.
with,
Stargate and
with,
Supernatural.
with Disney
Jump on.
Plus coming
Email
in
us.
soon, I
Stan
might
wants to
have to get
sponsor
rid
the
of
show.
my Stan.
Gmail.com.
Yeah, what he actually probably he would. I think he would fit the tone
Yeah.
of this show. Quite like
Yeah.
no, it would be completely different if they remade it now. They wouldn't be able to replicate it as much as they'd try. But I still feel like if you're looking at it from the outside, what you'd hope for, he'd probably fit very
I'd
well.
buy him. I'd
He
buy him
wouldn't-
as an Air Force colonel.
yeah, and he could say jokey sort of stuff, but he wouldn't be the lighthearted type leader if it was a leader, but even character that say Jack O'Neill would be. Like
Yeah, he'd be more like a John Shepard, I reckon, from
Yeah.
Atlantis or
Yeah,
something like that.
That's just a redo of Jack O'Neill as well, but we'll get to that next season.
Well, yeah, but
Who would
it's
be
not
your
as
Tilk?
not as quirky. I reckon the Unos. I reckon an Unos would be cool on the team.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Mm.
I mean, it got too much for Chris Judge to just put an emblem on his head each episode.
Yeah, but he's a bitch.
You tell him that. Straight to his face.
I'll tweet it.
I bet you fucking won't.
You bitch.
What about you, Carter?
I haven't gone that far.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
what I'm
think
trying to
those
do
two
now.
would be good.
That's what I'm doing right now.
The Han Solo and the Wookiee combination.
Hit us up.
Yeah,
You guys
that'd be
got
cool.
suggestions? Anyone listening?
Jump on Twitter if you got an idea. If there was a reboot for SG-1, who would be your awesome foursome?
We've already picked 2, so
Yeah, but who would be your
Don't
awesome
mess with perfection. We've nailed it. Unknown actor for Unos.
Yeah.
But just Unos makeup, so it doesn't matter. We just need a good voice actor. And, of course, Jensen Ackles. So go for it.
Hey, Mitch, you rocked up this morning in your Superman hoodie, I noticed.
Yeah.
So you might get a kick out of this.
you got a Captain America shirt underneath.
Yeah, I'm going for the ultimate Boy Scout look.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't know how
Yeah.
I feel about that.
hot.
So the black curly hair.
Don't say
Jaffa.
black, mate.
No.
Unbelievable. Jafar can be any type of colour.
Yeah, they can.
That was the color of her hair. She had black curly hair.
Well, yeah, but we don't have to point it out.
jeez.
Like, people, like... Jeez,
We
Her
all
name was
saw it.
Kal-El. There was a
To
Jafar whose name
describe
was
it
Kal-El.
like-
Mitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Which one was that?
The black one.
Oh, fuck, why didn't you say so? I'd be ashamed.
Oh,
Just
Your
describe-
white guilt's getting to you, Matty.
You're like over PC, Matty.
I've actually just been given a headache. That broke me.
headache.
That broke me.
Oh, shit. Why did I decide to take a drink of water during that exchange? I nearly just killed myself. I'm joking. I nearly drowned in the studio.
kind of want to
just
kill myself.
Yeah, we've all been there for 20 years.
Hop in the boat, mate. It's warm.
Only seems to be when I'm in this room. It's only in this room when I have suicidal tendencies. I'm not sure what it is.
Mate,
Contagious.
jump on the suicide train. We're all warm in here.
Speaking of suicide, this has nothing to do with it, but trying to get a segue in.
King of the segues.
Oh, killing it.
Whenever Tilk smiles and says this,
We have been told that there are a great many here who believe in the dream of freedom for all Jaffa.
the following happens.
People die!
Every single time he meets somebody,
He bangs on about a rebellion.
yeah, he bangs on about a rebellion. Everyone dies.
Hey, look, freedom comes at a cost.
No, you're right.
Just
It's just every
hopefully
time
not
he
Tilk.
smiles, it's like, uh-oh. It's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
When the bad guy smiles, you're like, damn.
It's like the key word when Tilk says freedom, people die. Just like George Bush.
There's a a flashback.
I love, obviously, this show is built on altering, historical stuff and taking unanswered questions and turning into the sci-fi. We love that stuff. That's what the show's built on. But it's usually about Daniel, and it's usually about the Gould, and this one a little bit different when you get these warrior women. And I think it was just before Jack. It was a weird scene. Jack ended the scene by talking about how he's happy to sleep with everyone if it helps them, if that's what they're kidnapping him for.
Yeah, I'll take one for the team.
Talking about like the mythical, was it like Amazonian, like Greek women or whatever, that they said they were warriors and they were badasses and stuff, and they would often chop off their right breast so that they could better hold a bow and arrow to fight. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's commitment to your craft. And I love no, but I'm just like, I'm fascinated by
true.
like ancient world. They would do shit like that. It's like to be able to fight that they would completely dismember them and shit, or what they would like, even the gestures that we use. Because I was hearing a story the other day, like we were talking about the finger. Why do we give people the finger? What is that? And
yeah, why is one finger good but another fingering bad? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, several are good, I mean, depending on who you are.
Depending how you take it.
Yeah, who's giving it to you, it's all good.
Two, better make it three.
Giving the finger, it's like, why is that so rude? And why is it the middle finger? And from what I was told, it was also to do with archers, because when enemies would capture archers, if they weren't going to kill them, if they were just going to hold them, they would actually chop off their fingers. And it might have been the forks. Maybe not so much the middle finger, but the forks. Sorry. So
well,
the
yeah,
index
that's
and your middle
the two
finger,
that you use to hold the back of an arrow.
They would chop off your two fingers so that you could never fire another bow again. And so that was where apparently, probably
left-handed bitch.
Absolute, like wanky.
Checkmate.
Just holding that. I was like, hey, I still got my two fingers and all that sort of stuff. So, or even the salute, like the idea that like we salute people because that was like a knight's thing to lift up their visor, like their mask, to show others that they were friendlies.
Look, I'm glad they didn't cut off any of their boobs in this episode though, because
I find the most erotic part of a woman is the boobies.
So I'm glad.
There's a lot of content for this one episode in particular.
Yeah, a lot of cut scenes.
Me next snoo, out me way. Me want snoo.
I couldn't help it. I basically, literally after watching the episode, I put on Futurama, Amazon Women in the Mood, and
recorded it all. And then now we're playing the whole episode on this.
I think I cut more.
Sorry about the 2-hour-long episode,
I
guys.
think I cut out more audio from Futurama than I did from Stargate.
Thank God Peter DeLuise wasn't on this cut.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wait till next week, because he's on both DVD commentaries for Evolution. He does part one.
Get ready for extended.
He does part one of the commentary with Gary Jones, and he does part two of the commentary with Amanda Tapping.
Who was commentary on this one?
Oh,
Chris Judge, obviously.
No, he wasn't. It was all the boring people again, like Peter F. West and
never heard of him.
He's the director.
John's brother, the fisherman.
Remember a few months ago when they talked about, we shot this scene with the puppet, and then it was a scene with the puppet because we shot the puppet.
Yeah, those guys.
Those guys.
I can see why they got him back.
Crack team.
Yeah.
I mean, say no more.
Highly motivated individuals.
People are barely going to watch the episode, let alone the commentary. When Old Love died, when they had the Jama Seku, and then Jackson goes, oh, she's dead. And then they go, oh, well, we need a symbiote for the young girl or whatever.
Yeah.
They went out after that Jama Seku to kill the Jaffa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't they get the symbiote that Old Love that just died had?
Because that was back on Earth still.
Yeah, but surely it would have been easier to go through the Stargate and back in 5 minutes.
Totally. Can we have a... Yeah.
What did they do with that?
You really think Frasier's not going to try and talk him into Tretonin before she lets him have the symbiote back?
Yeah, but even so, they're female warriors, mate. Just go in and blast it. But still, like you go, we're going to bring the body back and then grab, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's going to be easier 100%. Than going and killing 50 Jafar and trying to stab it out of their
We have one back at the base. You can come and get it right now.
We're not going all the way to the Stargate.
Nah, we're good.
I mean, I think that's the premise, isn't it? Their whole society is based around this wrong way of doing things. So they're, that's why they got so like vengeful and angry and decided to go back and try and take out some other Gould, and didn't work.
I think that was just a plot hole. Chris, fix that up.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought they were going to do. Is they're going to go grab the symbiote from Old Love that just died.
Yeah, it would have made total sense.
Oh, not really.
It's right there. What do you mean, not really? There's a There's a Gould in the tank. She needs one.
Yeah,
you don't have to kill anyone for it.
The whole premise of the episode is Ishtar's back and forth about whether or not to keep doing that.
So for
but they went and killed
reasons.
50 Jaffa to get one, is what I'm saying. They didn't need to go through a massive battle that probably lasted 2 hours. They could have gone to SGC and back in 10 minutes.
She was angry that Marla was dead, so she needed to vent. That's the way I took it. She was so annoyed that
she should have killed Carter and Fraser.
Was dying.
Okay, sure. That's a great way. All right, so that's definitely
at least Fraser.
Yeah, Chris Judge, if you can go back and write it so that Carter and Fraser are dead.
That would make more sense. I think as the Jafar way, it's like they don't earn it unless they kill for it. Like it's just like something in their makeup, in their brain. It's like we have to act rather than just take the easy route and go get it. It's like no, we need to kill something for it. Like I don't know, we need to deserve this.
Yeah, it was weird because the girl's like in bed dying.
Well, even though what was
we need to do this quick.
What was the woman that was really against it, and she was the one getting sick at the end with the younger sister?
Neith,
yeah, and she's sitting there, and she was ready to go, just let me die, I don't give a shit about anyone, you traitors, you all betrayed me. And then the sister comes up and is like, I need you, right? Like, can you stop being a selfish bitch about this thing? Get the bloody drug, and then you can train me because I want to be like you. And she's like, God damn it, you fucking guilted me into it.
Yeah.
You kind of reminded me I've got responsibilities.
It's time for the Get Into Geek Hairy Mailbag.
Well, we got one a few weeks ago we've been holding on to while Brendan was away, because we couldn't do this one without you here, Brendan. Bob the Mime has gone full bore. He loves Sounds of the Stargate so much, he's created a Spotify playlist. He's gone back to before you even did Sounds of the Stargate.
We're already on Spotify. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. No, he's created a I don't know how Spotify works. He's created a Spotify playlist of Sounds of the Gate-esque songs.
Right.
Well, at the time of when he sent it through while you were away, he'd done the first 3 seasons. Since then, he's gone through and done all 10 seasons.
What a sound.
Are we?
A song
so do I have to use those?
I don't think so. I think.
Because how does he know which ones you're going to use in the future?
That's creepy. He's outside your window, just like looking at your notebook, going, "Oh, hello."
I haven't even thought about
it. So yeah, he's assigned a song, much in the same way Brendan will pull a song that has the name of the song, name of the episode, or something to do with the episode.
Yeah.
He's done the exact same thing for every single episode of Stargate.
Well done.
So I grabbed these the other week when you were away, Brendan. So I thought 3 of my favourites from each season. This is my favourite from season 1 that he's picked. Obviously, Children of the Gods.
Sounds a bit like Wizard.
Oh yeah, there's a theme here. He's stuck on the theme.
It's more like Creed.
Yeah.
A band called Architect.
Oh, it's the same song.
Yeah, it's the same song.
Still going.
Yeah.
How does it go from one to the other?
I don't know, but they do it.
Wow.
And then there's this one.
There's got to be a Teal'c episode.
Yeah, totally.
Bane.
No, we're still season 1.
Oh.
Emancipation from Creed.
God. All right,
Wow.
next.
And this is the last one from season 1. Bit of Corn, guys.
Oh,
Nice.
that was back in the day.
And the lyrics are on point here. Don't want to talk
Are we
about
doing
politics.
3 per season here? All right.
Three bad ones. That's one, Matty.
It's not Bob's fault, but
Corn.
Bit of Corn.
Never got into corn.
nice.
All the
Well
cool-
done,
all the
Bob
cool-
the Mime.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's done those for every episode of all 10 seasons. So is there a way we can share that so people can check it out? Is that a thing? Can you share a Spotify?
Bob.
Everyone's looking at me.
Bob, if you've got a link to
You're
the
the
playlist,
guy.
send it through. We'll chuck it on the socials. That's a lot of work.
He
That's a
did
lot
send
of
us
work.
the links. He did send us the
You
links.
need to...
Yeah, that's how I got those bits.
Bob the Mime, take up drinking, mate. You've got too much time on your hands.
Well, one of my favourites we did get to was the one for Bane. He couldn't find a song called Bane, so he managed to find a dance track that's the base of the lyrics are "I'm a tiny sperm, watch me dance."
Sensational.
But we had You're
What about-
So
yeah,
Bane.
I was going to say. The one
Well, that's
that
what I said.
you-
He's gone through and done his own.
You're so
Okay.
Bane.
I think he
So
has
it's like
put in
a
couple.
beta-verse.
Yeah, I think he might have put in some. Well, Also, Bane wasn't an official Sounds of Stargate though.
Yeah, but it was inspired.
Yeah.
That and a bit of Twisted Sister.
Would
and
you say it's an
Sisters doing
alternate
it for
universe?
Oh, I'm not going to say that because that always ends badly in this room.
Vanessa Harris has got in contact with us on the Twitter.
V-Dog.
The V.
V Harry says, listening to the Get Into Gate episode about religion, and they couldn't be more wrong.
Interesting.
Ooh.
The unbelievers clearly need to study the Book of Origin. How loud are the Ori?
Which of course,
Hello.
Glad Rhys read that.
which of course,
That'll
Rhys
make
Hello.
means.
Hello to the
Hello, are the alright?
How loud?
Hello are the alright.
Hello, are the
Where are you
alright?
Oh.
What does that even mean? I'm not even sure what that
No.
means.
Oh, you'll find out.
I hope it's a joke.
Something later on.
I didn't have that.
Maybe another
Yeah,
song.
you,
I did.
you missed
I did.
3 episodes, mate. The mailbag's been emptied a bit.
One of the best.
Is it after the
I hope Vanessa's joking, otherwise, you know.
Oh, you
She
know,
gonna get.
you know that planet went Origin. You know it did.
Look, what's happening here? What are we talking about?
State of
Stargate.
Origin.
State of Origin.
You'll find out in a couple
the
of
future,
seasons. Yeah.
Story of my life.
Or maybe a different show. Could be an Atlantis reference.
Cannot
could
wait.
be a universe reference.
I got a 5-star podcast review here, guys, from Storm Unicorn 197 from the United Kingdom. You're right.
You're right. Hello.
Best
Shine your
Stargate
shoes.
podcast in our galaxy. Excellent podcast from some of the greatest fans of the show. That's us, I think. I look forward to this every week. Fun and laughs, as well as a great behind-the-scenes knowledge, make this a must for me and every fan of Stargate. Oh, well, thank you very much, Storm Unicorn.
Absolutely.
197.
Romati Boys got in contact with us again on Twitter. Just watched Lifeboat. Probably the worst episode I have watched. I had to fast forward all the bad acting from Shanks.
Oh,
I nearly just turned it off.
Eat your
Bring
hat,
back
mate.
Corin.
Oh,
Bring back Corin.
obviously
Bring
joke.
back Corin.
Obviously joking.
that is not going to start a chant in
That
this
is-
room. That
Hey,
will
mate,
not
I'm a
start.
one-man band. I don't give a shit. Obviously, I'm doing it just to piss you off.
You're just the trombone.
Bit rusty. I'm more of a cymbals guy.
I'm over here with just the triangle. Got another 5-star iTunes review here from PG1935 from Australia.
Oh.
Got an Australian here.
G'day, mate.
Feeds my secret gate obsession is the title of this. Don't be closeted.
Loud and proud,
Come
mate.
out and do it. I have no one to talk to about my gate appreciation. I'm so thrilled this is a podcast.
Welcome.
Well, absolutely you're welcome.
We're thrilled that you're listening to it. Uncle Sig has commented on, I'm going to say Instagram.
Siggy break.
Space Race is easily one of my favourite episodes in the whole franchise.
Off.
It reeks of 1930s to 50s sci-fi pulps. It's like
Yes.
a Heinlein hubbub pulp cowboy bebop.
Are you making words up?
Those are all things.
He's a good rapper. A Heinlein hubbub pulp.
Maybe it's just the way Rhys reads.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't understand what's happening.
You're just
It's like
sounding out
Bebop and
letters.
Rocksteady.
It's like they f***ed Cowboy Bebop and shout out an SG-1 episode.
Yeah.
Also, going to the Carter haircut chat, the role of Season 7 Carter will be played by Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Accordion
Wow.
call
Wow.
it, do it.
Uncle Sig.
Brilliant.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
I listen correctly and you all like Space Race?
No.
What
No,
the?
Yeah, I
I think
didn't-
I was.
I liked
No,
Space
I-
Race.
You guys are fucking idiots.
It's
You're wrong.
I was
It's
the only one who said
boring.
no. Every time
Oh,
Brendan's
thank
like
God.
criticised, he's looking at me. He's like, "You're a f***ing idiot." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Don't yell at
No,
me."
you just didn't say anything.
I noticed
to
too
the contrary
on,
from what I.
No,
I was,
no,
I mean,
I
I
know.
was drunk.
No,
I
no,
noticed
I
on our
remember.
Facebook post too, it was one of the most sort of like divisive ones.
Yeah.
Like we said, it was. There's people there going, "I love it. It's such a good freaking episode." And other people going, "Oh my god, it's the worst freaking episode."
I don't get it. It's just in the middle of such greatness. It's like I don't care if you're having a race around a sun. Where like
You
Anubis
can
is
say that
about.
about every episode.
No,
Like I don't care
especially
about
this.
whatever's
It's
happening
boring.
In this one, so
Like, maybe because it's by choice. Like every other world, they go, "Oh, let's just dive into this world and see what happens." And see where this was like, "Hey, do you want to come and like take some time off away from like you know ending?"
No,
the
Do you
they
want to
had
be like
Mate.
Star Wars Episode 1 and do a pod race? No.
It was the same.
don't.
It was the same motivation they have for every episode. Go off world to get technology.
yeah.
Did they? What
exactly.
tech
Well,
did they get though?
They
Yeah,
got an
same as
ion
every
drive.
fucking episode.
Yeah,
They
no
got
point.
They got an ion drive.
Not worth it.
Might as well stay home, right?
We'll be at the end of the first season of
Jaffa Rebellion. What technology are we going to get out of that?
Yeah,
the ion drive will come in
Stuff
very handy at
weapons.
the end of the first season of Atlantis.
so boring.
I think you went a little bit over the top.
No, I
You
just had
guys
to
are-
count
You guys
Yeah.
to your bullshit.
Yeah, you should have just shown up. You should have just shown up. For
Yeah,
the end,
we were here.
Should have
You
just
don't
shown
get-
up. It's too late, Mitch. This whole thing's getting cut out.
Don't get
It's
to
all
have
getting cut out.
Don't get to have a say if you're not here, mate.
Yeah, I just did.
That's it. Do another f***ing Gibson Brothers side podcast. You weren't here for it. Then you can shit on it over there.
I just did it. I'm happy.
I liked it. I agree. I liked elements of it.
I
said
know
that like your
Damo
own-
and Toasty is on my side for sure.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hard to argue with both of them.
Well, I'm going to just start throwing names out there. They're not here to deny it, so the more names I throw out, the more people on my side. 5-star review here on Apple Podcasts. I'm going to say that's iTunes. From the US of A, Technology Poet.
Howdy.
Technology Poet from the US. They make my day every episode. I love listening to their irreverent.
Oh, yeah.
What's that mean?
Nailed it.
If you're a reverend,
Oh, right.
That's what you
I love
say.
listening to these reverends in Australia. I'll start again. I love listening to their irreverent Aussie humour
Keep
and
all
love
of that.
all things Stargate. The only thing more fun than Stargate is doing a rewatch listening to Get Into Gate crew after each episode. Do yourself a favour, Maddie, and listen along. You'll laugh, you'll cry from laughter.
How did I become Molly Meldrum? What?
And each week, you'll get to find out if Rhys has been paying attention. Spoiler alert,
Which is
he hasn't.
not.
Which is exactly like Who Wants to Be a which is exactly like Hot Seat Millionaire. If it was all, if it was all Stargate, there were no prizes, and you phone a friend.
call.
Do you want to read it, mate?
No, just reading along.
I'm reading it the same way you read
Someone
shit.
wants to actually read it. Maybe pre-read it.
I'll
That'd be
start
great.
No
the
point.
sentence again. And each week you'll get to find out if Rhys has been paying attention, which is exactly like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
If it was all Stargate, there were no prizes, and your phone a friend call was just your best mates making fun of you. Classic awesomeness.
I'm glad that was the end.
Yeah. That's the end of the mailbag, guys.
Thanks, Technology Poet.
One of the great poets.
Absolutely. It's time to find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
Spoiler already hasn't. Just off the back of the mailbag. We'll see.
Absolutely.
I know I've jinxed that you'll do badly, so you'll do
4
well.
out of 5 ain't bad. Brendan, you're up.
I thought Maddie was doing it.
No.
Alrighty.
Are you upset that he filled in, mate, are you?
Yeah, devastated.
That's all he's
5
got.
questions for you, Rhys. The newbie guy. 30 seconds on the clock. What country's mythos did Daniel refer to when talking about the Amazonians?
Hucktill?
Incorrect. What was the name of the female Jaffa homeworld?
Hucktill?
Correct. What Goa'uld did they follow?
The mollusk.
Correct. How many milligrams of epi did Dr. Fraser prescribe to Mala?
God, double everyone else.
Incorrect. Ishtar's leadership was challenged by Neith.
Correct.
What is Neith's
True.
sister's name?
God.
Mate. So the country's mythos of the Amazons was Greek. The Greek mythos.
Right.
Moloch, Hucktill, 1 milligram epi. Just remember that. Dr. Fraser
always
calls 1 milligram
That's right.
epi forever.
And I believe the last question you can actually have 2 answers to.
Neith's sister.
Yeah.
Or the main one. Either one. Either one will do.
Just our name.
Any name.
A wrong name would
Could have
be fine.
been.
I think it's supposed to be Nisa, but at one point early on, I think
Someone
Ishtar-
says Nessa.
I think Ishtar calls her Nessa
Yeah.
when she first introduces her. Yeah.
Nessie.
But I guess it makes sense if Neith is her older sister, then she's Nisa. I guess that
Neith.
makes more
Are you,
That's what-
talking about the other? There's 2 answers because the baby sister got killed on a fire. I don't know her name.
No, I mean that one.
sisters.
The character who is in the
Yeah.
Electra movie is referred to at one point as Nisa and one point as Nessa.
Yeah, it's NESA, so
Yeah,
they
so
can't
it's
make
just-
up their
I think
mind.
just the actor
Yeah.
who said it.
Actually, a
mispronounced
few
it.
of those ladies were saying Goa'uld a lot.
I noticed that.
That was a little bit
Neith
annoying.
was the worst
Gold.
one for that at the end. Yeah.
That's what Mike Tyson calls his brother's daughter. Neith.
Rhys.
I was like,
You're
that's
all the way
that.
too wrong.
You stupid son of a bitch.
That last question was a perfect. There's no way I'm letting you get 5 out of
Yeah.
5 because you read it with like 8 seconds ago and you're like, the Jaffa women leader Ishtar enacts Jomase Q with Neith.
Yeah.
What is Neith's sister's name?
Well, I was kind of angling towards him saying Joe Maseku, but
Brilliant.
Craig
Wasn't gonna be.
Ferguson, whenever he'd do a little quiz thing with his guests, he'd go to ask them a question. He'd always preface it with, Iceland is in the North Atlantic. Its capital is Reykjavik. And then just ask any question. Who was the star of blah, 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 blah? Like, just for no reason, he would always start
throw
with,
him off.
Iceland is the North Atlantic.
Dig
Its
it.
capital is
Brilliant.
Reykjavik.
Sweet.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to embrace your birthright, jump on our Patreon.
Yep.
Do it.
Feels right.
Just like...
Even though Patreon wasn't around when you were born.
Who has jumped on our Patreon, Matty?
I'm glad you asked, Brendan.
Thanks, mate.
Welcome to our newest patrons, Tom Woodhouse,
Oh, Woodstar.
Vanessa Harris,
Yeah, the V
Oh,
dog.
T. Harrow.
and the pronunciation could go me either way. It's either Andy Douglas or Andy Douglas. There's two
Or
S's on the end.
Douglas.
Douglas. Oh, Douglas. That's it.
Oh, I
Change
love it.
approved. Andy Douglas.
It's obviously Douglas.
Well, there's two S's.
Matty Gibson.
I guess because I'm used to seeing Douglas as a first name and it only has one S, but as a last name, it's got two S's,
Yeah.
I guess.
Some people can
It's
have
Douglas.
two first names.
Yeah, so it's Douglas. Change approved. Andy Douglas.
He's yelling at his radio now, just a little podcast.
I mean, I hope
system.
he's Scottish.
Welcome,
Douglas, Matty.
welcome, Andy Douglas. Doogie, hey, Philly potatoes. Welcome, Andy
Canadian.
Douglas.
Right. He's Canadian. He's apologising to us that we got his name wrong.
Sorry, guys. You got it wrong.
Great people. That's episode 143 of Get Into Gate. We will be back next weekend. A little special two-parter, guys.
All right.
Evolution. I was reading my own writing and I nearly read out education. I'm like, that doesn't seem correct. And that's because it's not.
No.
It's actually
when
evolution.
when I'm here in the podcast with you three, the last thing I think of is education.
No, well said.
When we're here with you, the last thing we think of is evolution.
Straight up creation.
You handed that to Rhys for a second. I'll set you up, Rhys. I'll set you up.
Like, yeah, I'm wide open. Crush me.
Ah, damn. Burn. I'm going to go and cry now.
Until then, you can check all of our old podcasts out on our podcasting channel. Any podcasting outlet you choose. We're pretty much on all of them. Search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast. Same as what you hit on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Join in the Stargate.
It's all free. It's all
Absolutely.
free.
Join us to Get
Except
in the Gate
Patreon.
family. And Or, Patreon. Yeah, discover your birthright there.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
giveaway this week as well. This month. For this month, we're giving away, we've got a bunch of replicator blocks to give away.
Oh, shit. That's dangerous.
We'll
You
give
take it
away
over the
then.
universe.
Don't put them
guys.
together.
Oh,
I'd be
replicator
keeping
blocks.
them separately, in
Oh,
separate
not really.
containers.
Oh, look, they've bonded over the course of the episode.
Oh, haven't we all?
They're all starting to...
We all. Hey, and now that Stargate Command's dead, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
No. They've transitioned to
The
YouTube.
Transgate.
Very
Great,
2019.
great people. The artist formerly known as StargateCommand.co.
Yeah.
Now known
Yeah,
as
just play that free.
youtube.com/Stargate Command.
I mean, it's like starting a Patreon, but getting 2 patrons and then going, all right, we'll do it for free.
It's like starting a patron before you've actually made anything.
Individually, Mitch_Lewis on Twitter and Instagram is where you can find me if you're desperate enough for someone else to follow. Matty, where you at?
At High Pitched Matty.
Rhys?
I'm at the Flying Gibson. Mitch,
And-
you're the only one that puts shit on your Instagram. The rest of us don't.
I put a pumpkin on mine
Like
yesterday.
And that looked, mate, and that looked great.
Thanks,
That
buddy.
looked really good.
Not
Thanks,
bad.
mate.
Not bad.
And Brendan,
I'm at the-
you've went back to full season 1 and season 2 and a little bit of
Oh,
season
mate.
3, Brendan.
Oh, yeah,
You've
that's
changed
right.
your bloody
I'm
handle.
at Big Shrendog. You can catch me on
That's
that.
Big
is that because
Shrendal.
you just got
Oh,
inundated
no.
with pictures of
Big
Weir over the last couple of
Shrendal.
weeks?
No, I was drunk and I saw Brownie's
I knew-
Instagram.
I
and I'm
knew
like,
it.
oh,
I knew you'd be drunk when you did
What's
it.
his?
Who's
what's
Brownie?
his?
Big Brown Dog.
dog.
I'm like, oh, that's right.
Right.
I used to sing that song by Eminem.
Oh, now.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like now.
It's like, it's an alcoholic talking there.
Yeah.
Like you do regretful shit when you're drunk and then you have to convince yourself that it's okay just so you can keep living.
I mean, I could have changed it back, but
I mean, all those episodes, people start listening.
Yeah, they've started.
Them up.
The
yeah.
Brent Gibson, he mustn't
I
be on
don't
it
want
anymore.
followers.
Why are you on social media?
So I can put
So you can
pictures
put
of
pictures-
skeletons on.
Skeletons and pumpkins.
He only puts photos up when he's drunk.
Well, talking about followers
He's always
and
drunk.
following people, we were talking about the Joe Rogan, Edward Snowden chat the other day.
It's his hand than
Hey?
you.
I wouldn't say we were talking about it. I'd say Brendan was banging on about it by
Brendan
himself.
I sent two things. Two
Brendan
links.
had an erection because he was listening to Joe Rogan.
It was
so
a
we all had
digital
to know
wank.
about
It really was. And you sent on the screenshot that the only person he follows is the NSA.
NSA, yeah.
And it's like, I
That's
love
funny.
that. It's just like such a power move. You're on social media, it's like, I don't follow anyone.
There's like
you know?
2 million followers and one follows the NSA. I'm onto you, bitches. I'm onto you.
Yeah, you made me famous. I'm rich because you
Stole
guys.
your shit.
I'm rich in Russia.
All right, we'll see you back next week. Episode 144, Evolution, Part 1 and 2.
Get Into Geek.